The other guitar player, that's Jorge de Moya. And George is kind of an interesting fellow because a lot of the stuff that I play now has actually been taught by George at one time or another. When you talk about God-given talent, this fellow really won the lottery. And what I mean by that is he has an ear that is, in my opinion, prodigal. He can tune a guitar to open G and then back to standard tuning perfectly. He will listen to a song and pick up the nuances of the song again that are just fantastic. His skill in putting a song together has also impressed me tremendously. He is, when they talk about guitar players that are trained or that learn on their own, he does not fit those categories. This man was born guitar player. He doesn't know it and maybe not appreciate it as much because it doesn't come naturally to him to look in the mirror and say, boy, you're a great musician, but others around him notice immediately and have always said so. One thing about George that I've always found absolutely fascinating is he will listen to a song and pick up the song, and then he will recognize a subtext to the song, which is always hidden from me, and be able to exploit what he thinks is behind the song to brighten and enhance that song. And when we play Badge, for example, there are a lot of little ditties that go in there that he recognized and brought to the forefront. We play Layla, and some of the little arpeggios on the rhythm guitar, he will take and bring to the forefront, even during the soft part. It'll be very sweet, very soft, but really, really important parts that he brings to the band. I like the fact that George enjoys instruments which are vintage instruments or classical instruments, but he plays a 57 Fender Twin, and of course his favorite guitar is the Les Paul, and he performs magic with those. I have been extremely fortunate to have played with him, jamming with other folks, and I think that as far as being stimulated to play and as far as his God-given talent, I think George is at the peak of his career right now, with more great things to come in the future. I can hear that Les Paul singing in my ears even when I'm resting or falling asleep. And if any of you are interested, listen to our recording of the song by Free, All Right Now, and you'll hear that beautiful sound, that beautiful distortion. I think the other thing that makes George exceptional is that he's dabbled in percussion. So I think what that gives a person is a tremendous sense of timing and structure in a song. So he plays drums, plays percussion, plays many other instruments. So he's got a great sense of timing besides the great sound from his instrument. And well, I like to call him the linebacker, the middle linebacker for the band Badge, because he's not interested. You know, we all have these friends who are in love with their guitar sound, and that's all they want to hear, and that's all they hear when they play. He's not interested in that. George truly listens to the band also, just like Freddie, and wherever you need him to plug in, he's there. If you need George to sing harmony, he's singing harmony. If you need him to have a special effect, he'll have a special effect. And if you need him to play guitar, of course, he will fill that area that he fills beautifully. With his sound, I think it complements mine a lot, and I think the effect is great. People certainly enjoy it, and they love to come see him for that reason. He is self-taught also, but I think his own natural talent overruns any didactic or any theoretical. thing that may have been taught to him in the past. I think he has an ear that's incredible, and where he has shown this to me, where it's been really impressive, has been in arpeggios that have been played in different songs, very fast, quickly changing, and I'll say, George, give me a hand with this. What sticks out to you here? And he'll sit down and hit a few notes, and hit a few notes, and before you know it, he either has the exact movement, the exact sound, or he'll figure out a harmony to that sound. And to me, this is incredible. This is like a magic trick, because the way that I play, I kind of bang my head up against the wall till a chord comes out, and George, on the other hand, has that God-given talent to listen to music and just with his ear know more or less what they're doing, and then go and replicate it perfectly. And what he has added to our band has been incredible. The band badge used to not have a second guitarist, and so I basically had to carry the heavy weight. Now it's the other way around. Now I'm just kind of walking along with George carrying a lot of the heavy weight, and for every song there seems to be a lot on his plate. He does harmony singing, he does special effects, he does percussion, bongos, tumbadoras. On top of that, he plays guitar. So in one song, he may start out with a little bongo introduction, let's say, and then from there move on to a few chords to get the song rolling. Then he'll put the guitar down, sing harmony for the chorus, and then at the end come back and hit the guitar some more, or play harmonizing leads with me. And that's fantastic. He can play lead, rhythm guitar, and anything else you ask him.
We move on now to our bass guitarist, Jose Barrera.
Jose Barrera, that's exactly right. Jose is another old-time friend. We've been in several bands together, a band called Vintage, which we formed in the 90s. And Jose is one of these guys that has also excellent equipment. He has followed through in his musical career. The story that I get is that at first he wasn't really putting in the time or effort, or he didn't appreciate the time or effort that it took to become a good bass player. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think it was Tito Rubio, one of those very, very good keyboard players that I was talking about, that said to him, look, do you want to be a bass player, or do you want to be a bass player? So that instead of just hitting the chord notes, he could really do runs and everything. And Jose put in the time, and I think that was his most effort that he put into playing the bass, and took a few lessons and so forth, but it was his hard work that really got him to where he is. We just lost another excellent bass player by the name of Johnny Orns, who has played in multiple bands in the past also, and had a very strong presence and a beautiful voice. And of course, in the past, we played with great bass players like Al Arcada and Jose Garcia, and these are people that do more than just play bass as a complement to the band. They lock up with a drummer and really carry the band. So when Jose came back and played with us, it was like, for us, listening to our sound again, it was like coming home. He loves multiple bass players. I think actually Nathan East and Tal Wilkenfeld, of course, has had an influence, and needless to say, the great Cream bass player Jack Bruce has been very influential. He plays a straight bass. There's no effects, no compression, but with a tremendous amount of authority, and with a tremendous timing. What Jose has is that, just like me, he's used to how Angel plays bass, and so they're able to lock up. Even when the rhythm changes and Angel changes the beat, he changes his bass line, and they lock up at a separate level. He also helps out with the singing, as you know, and he adds a real solid background to whatever we do with Badge and to our songs and how we've progressed. Of interest is he was very influenced by the Beatles and by Beatles songs. So Paul McCartney and that way of playing runs while you sing, to him was essential. So instead of stepping back and just hitting a note here and there, he loves that full bass sound where you're playing multiple runs as you're singing or harmonizing, and that's kind of the Badge way, if you will. That's kind of the infusion that he brings to the band that makes everything run smoother and tighter. The other thing about Jose that I think is important is that he can play a 4-string bass, a 5-string bass, a 10-string bass. he has gone back later and taken some more advanced classes and understands very well how that whole genre works. For most guitar players, you know, the bass is just the top 4 strings of the guitar, and that's it. To figure out some of the more esoteric runs or using other scales is quite difficult.
Yeah, I can tell he's got music theory.
Exactly. For him, it comes naturally, and when things are not quite jiving, he will stop and test it, see where the problem is, and fix it with his knowledge of music, not just with his ear. He's one of those guys also, by the way, that does not overplay in the sense that he doesn't trample over everybody else. There are some bass players that will do that. They will start playing, and it's an overwhelming presence. I think he's got a tremendous taste and adds a tremendous balance to the band, in the sense that he doesn't excessively overplay, but what he does play is very tasteful, juicy areas, and whenever he does improvise, it's always simple but essential sounds.
Precise.
Very precise for the song to continue and for the song to have some impact. So we're all very glad that he's back for the time being, and hopefully we'll be able to bring some of our followers some more videos in the future, not only of me introducing my friends, but also of them talking about what they like about the band and the instruments they play and so forth.